maybe even taking a nap to recharge. Managing your stress means managing your health, so it's important to take back your moments. This is your me time. Own it. Learn more about reducing stress at heart.org/stress.
The WAIN Community Calendar brought to you by McDonald's of Columbia. For any information or tips concerning local drug activity and prevention, the Columbia Police Department would like to remind residents to contact their tip line, Callie's Line, at 270-378-2259. That's 270-378-CALLIE. Again, 270-378-2259. As always, you can remain confidential. Again, for any information or tips concerning local drug activity and prevention, the Columbia Police Department would like to remind residents to contact their tip line, Callie's Line, at 270-378-2259. That's 270-378-CALLIE. Again, 270-378-2259. As always, you can remain confidential. For the latest community events, log on to our website, 935wain.com.
Weather brought to you by Sheila Bryant and her staff at Century Medicine Express Pharmacy, located on Jamestown Street in Columbia. The pharmacy with smiling faces.
30 tonight under partly cloudy skies, southeasterly winds around 5 miles per hour. 62 tomorrow, partly cloudy. Scattered rain showers likely. Tomorrow night, 48 cloudy.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 51.
CBS Sports Radio, 1270 AM and 1019 FM WAIN. Columbia, Kentucky, the exclusive home of Lindsey Wilson Athletics.
You're listening to 93.5 Hot Country, Columbia, Kentucky, home of Lindsey Wilson Athletics that captured the 2015-16 Learfield Directors Cup.
I mean, advertising, would encourage a lot of local listeners, but I've got people from 3 and 4 different countries listening. Not. Well, I mean, it's 2 different continents.
it's because how special you are.
I mean, I just send them a text.
Yeah. Anybody gonna be watching that? Clemson, a 2-14 Louisville team.
No, I do think.
Coach to even talk, I believe. He didn't. The guy
I still got my 1,000-point ball, and if I ever get broke someday, I'm gonna auction it off. I think it'll bring a lot of money. Chris, how can Marion be 1-17?
I don't know.
They're 1-17.
How can Louisville be 2-17?
I just think.
Sorry, Austin.
Chili supper, and they're going to recognize Coach Stonebreaker during the game, and so all that's going to be exciting.
Folks, this guy's doing all this with 0 notes, so he's just like throwing stuff out there.
It's involving food, I guarantee. I mean, he knew that one.
Well, I'm just trying to. I'm definitely going to have 2 bowls of chili because I'm going to make a nice donation. I'm going to have the chili. I'm going to try it.
I wouldn't be shocked at all to see a bowl up there. Pass it to the left side.
We're going to take a 2-minute break. I've been known to do that.
Yeah. As you can tell by the intro, and that's all Austin Armstrong, by the way. If you can tell by the intro, we have a good time on here. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the J&S Auto Sales Sports Talk Live and Local. Alongside Scott Bennett, I'm Chris Wells. Our third leg in this, whatever we call this thing.
That's what he is, the third leg.
He's the third leg. Is not with us tonight, unfortunately. He's having to travel this afternoon, so we're missing John Shelley, Austin Armstrong, our producer. Thanks to our sponsors, TJ Regional Health, United Citizens Bank, Lindsey Wilson College, our title sponsor, J&S Auto Sales. You can follow us live on Facebook at WAIN 1019 FM and 1270 AM, and on YouTube at WAIN Radio. We're also live on YouTube now, so you can make sure that you follow that. We archive those shows, so if you don't get enough of us live, you can always go back in and watch the on-demand portion of it. Just search YouTube page WAIN Radio. And don't forget to listen to us on our website, 1019wain.com. You can download the app for free of charge on the Apple Store, Google Play, and just search WAIN Radio, and you can take us wherever you go.
Before you get going, we missed you last week. Obviously, you're the one that runs this ship. We'll put it that way. But let's try to make plans next week. We hadn't all three been in the studio together forever.
It's been a month.
Yeah.
Because you guys were at Marion County.
Then
Hart County.
Yep.
And then, by the way, we haven't had a chance to talk, but apparently you guys tore Hart County down. They couldn't even play the next night, right? Had to go over to Taylor County. Unfortunately, that was due to the weather. But yeah, you're right. We haven't been in studio, all three of us together, for a while.
It's been a while.
I blame Austin.
He's been working on that intro. We need to get the other stuff together.
That's what he's here for. Well, we hope John has a safe trip and gets back soon. We look forward to having you back in the studios next week. Lots to talk about. I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys last week, and I was actually working something else at the time. I was a site supervisor at a national tournament game. Didn't get to listen to the show. Because we haven't talked, and some of the people out there may not have been able to hear the show last week, just your thoughts on how the season came to an end.
It's always sad.
And I'm talking about the basketball.
Yeah, basketball. It's always sad for any team to come to an end. But I mean, it's the one thing you can say, and I told John last week. It kind of hit me last week. Both of our girls and both our boys and girls team both lost to eventual region champions.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing to say. And actually, the boys played E-Town closer than anybody else did in the region.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about it here in a minute. E-Town's done turned around and won a game in the state tournament already. So I mean, it's a lot of excitement for both teams. They got the girls have everybody returning. They didn't have any seniors this year. The boys lose a couple of seniors, but return really all 5 starters and 7 of their top 9, 8 of the top 10 players. So it's exciting. It's way too early to look forward to next year. You never know what's going to happen, but I'm sure that knowing Coach Breeze, he will most likely stiffen that schedule up a little bit. I think he wants to try to push those kids a little more. And I'm not saying they played a bad schedule this year, but I think he'll pick it up a little bit, I believe.
There's just excitement, period, at Adair County right now in their athletic department. You know, we talked about the new coach, which we kind of mentioned in the intro. Both basketball teams returning. I know baseball, softball is off and running. But it's a good time to be a fan of Adair County athletics.
Yeah, and want to give a shout out to another thing that's gone on. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, Chris. And I'd like to get Craig Biggs in here sometime to talk a little bit more about it. But I got a sizable donation from a local insurance agency, and that part of that's going to be funding for a athletic Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I've been a part of some of those meetings that we're trying to get things narrowed down to make an initial class of Hall of Fame. It's going to be an annual thing that we're going to try to do with that, and that money's going to fund part of that. Also, it's going to do some stuff on the new basketball court, and it's going to have their Brown and Brown's logo on it or whatever. Be Brown and Brown Court, I guess is what it'll be called. But so some good things there. And
Mike Neal, right?
Mike Neal, yeah. He's a Adair County alumni. I think he lives in Bowling Green now. I'm not positive about that, but he lived here for a long time. But Mike's been really successful in the insurance business, and just really nice for him to give back. I mean, it's you worked in athletics for a long time. It's you can't do it without support, and it's
exactly right.
It's always nice to get that.
Well, baseball and softball is off and running. I don't know. We didn't get a chance to talk because, like normal, I came in here right before the show starts, and I know we know the results. But do you know anything more than that?
I don't know anything more than that. We had our annual NCAA fantasy draft last night, and somebody right before we left.
And yet again, I did not get the invite.
I've invited you
every year,
a million times. You've always got something going on. Don't give me that. I didn't do it this time. You probably could have came.
Probably could have. Yeah. Last night, I was home twiddling my thumbs.
Well, we had. I'll just put it this way. I know it's kind of skipping ahead a little bit. Our pool has gradually grown. We had 30 people drafting last night.
Wow.
We had to cut it down to 5 players each. Normally we do 7 or 8 players. We barely got through 5, and we was picking people I've never heard of before. And I try to follow sports pretty close, but some of these people I've never heard of before. So
that's pretty awesome.
It's a crapshoot on that, no doubt about it.
Baseball fell 9-5 at Casey County yesterday to open up their season with a loss. They've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. I don't think the rain's going to allow them to play that schedule, just looking at the rain. They're supposed to be at John Hardin on Thursday, which tomorrow, at Fort Knox on Friday, at Pulaski County on Saturday, and then they'll finally open up their home schedule on Monday against Allen County, Scottsville. Scott, what do you know about the baseball team as far as this year?
I know Coach McCray didn't do him any favors going 5 in a row. Well, the first Monday got canceled, but the first 5 games on the road, I'm hoping to have him and Coach Brown both in here at some point in time. That's one of my questions. Why in the world are you doing that? Of course, I know part of it may be, and it might not have been his thinking at all, that baseball field up on top of that hill, it's 20 degrees colder up there than it is anywhere else in the county. So, I mean, that might be part of it is that. But sounds like they got off to a fairly rough start yesterday. I do know that part of a chunk of our runs came off of Jake McQuarrie home run. I do know that part, but I don't know really anything else that happened in the game as far as that goes. But
how many basketball players will play baseball, and how long does it take? I remember the days when I played basketball and baseball. It's hard to go just from boom finishing your season and turn right around and play baseball.
And 2 of them, 2 that I know of are playing, Brayton Coomer and Connor Loy. And those 2 started last year. I would have no reason to know they wouldn't start this year too. Brayton's probably their one or 2 pitcher, and he plays shortstop, third base, wherever else. Connor's their center fielder. Connor might have to pitch some this year too. I'm not sure, but it had to be rough. I know they finished up. What was that on Wednesday? And they had a scrimmage that next Monday. And I know I talked to Connor's dad, and he was talking about it. He said Connor come home that night. He said, maybe I need to take a little batting practice. He'd swung the bat one time since last year before that scrimmage, and his timing was way off. But yeah, to answer your question, it's got to be hard these first few weeks. I know Brayton's, even during basketball, he's throwing baseball some because I think it's his favorite sport. And I know Connor probably don't throw any baseball other than when he's out there playing. So because basketball's his thing. So, but it's got to be hard. I mean, at least it's just 2 of them. The rest of the team, they got a lot of work over the winter. Finally got looks like Coach McQuarrie gave me a little tour of it a few weeks ago. Their indoor facility out there at the field is they built it last year and just covered it. The sides were open, just had batting cages in there then, but now they've gotten the whole thing filled in, and it's a true indoor facility now. And that can do nothing but help because they're out there at school. You all used it too, and before you all started the fairgrounds, but that thing, the building at the shed at the Lily Park is what everybody called it. It was a godsend when it happened. But it's served its purpose greatly. But it's nice to have options now too. I mean, it's
when you've got 3 or 4 different entities trying to use one facility, it does get tough.
And it kind of worked to me just from when I was president of Little League Park, stuff like that, and we tried to work with schedule and everything. To me, it worked good for Lindsey Wilson right after Christmas because they were really the only ones using it very much because their season starts earlier than everybody else. It got hairy about this time of year because everybody, especially on a Friday or something like that, where Lindsey would have a ball game and they come out there pre-game if it was raining or something like that, and still don't try to play. And it's just the high schools baseball and softball had a game. They just don't come out there and try to do something. It got a little hairy at times, but like I said, it's anytime you get those more facilities for everybody to use, it's a good thing for the local athletes.
Sure. Tell me if you know about baseball. What's the strength of the team? What do you remember?
I mean,
from last year?
strength-wise, I'll tell you what concerns me first. They're young. They've got one senior, and he's not a starter per se. He's not an everyday player. The fire truck going through every time.
Yep.
But he's not an everyday player, so they're very young. I mean, besides besides that senior Jake McQuarrie is a junior, and I'm not sure if they got another junior. I think everybody else is freshmen and sophomores, and I think they're playing. There's only an 8th grader playing quite a bit. There was an 8th grader played a lot last year. There's a freshman now, but there's another 8th grader that's going to get some playing time this year. So it's
baseball is you could say this about every sport. You could say football, basketball as well, but I don't maybe not basketball as much as the other sports. But when you put 8th grade freshmen, sophomores against junior and senior type teams, man, that's asking a lot.
And that's one thing I know. Casey County had a lot coming back, and they're an older team, and I think it probably showed last night a little bit. I think we'll be fine. I think Coach McQuarrie will get them playing well and that type of thing. And he does a pretty good job of his scheduling. I mean, not taking nothing away from these next couple games is John Hart and Fort Knox. They're not powerhouses. Even though John Hart's a pretty good size school, their baseball program is not where it was 10 years ago, and Fort Knox is just not there right now. They just Fort Knox. I've always felt bad for Fort Knox in any of their sports. They have such a transient population. You never know who's going to be there and who's not. It's hard to build anything. So that's hopefully we get those games played. Like I said, I'm not sure about the weather. I know it is supposed to rain, but I'm not sure when and how much and all that. But it'd be nice to try to get a couple wins there this week. But going back to your question about strengths, I mean there is overall as athletic as any team Coach McQuarrie's probably had overall. Now he's I can say this because I mean my son and him grew up. Ryan's son Jake is not the best athlete on the team, but he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 hitters on the team. But you got to have people on base in front of him, things like that, and move the ball. I think he'll play a lot of small ball. He'll keep players in motion this year because, like I said, they're as athletic as they've ever been. One of the things that worries me a little bit about the baseball season is the 20th district is probably. I mean, I've been around it since before I played in the early '90s. It's as strong overall as it's ever been. I mean, you got Campbellsville's got a kid, a freshman. He's a freshman this year, but he's probably a future college baseball or college football player, one or the other, either one. Taylor County's got 3 Division I signees right now that none of them are seniors. All of them, 2 of them are juniors, one's a sophomore, and they've all 3 already. Well, they haven't signed. They've all 3 committed. One to the University of Tennessee, one to Middle Tennessee, and one to East Tennessee State. Yeah. So and then Marion County. We've talked about the kid that shut us down in the tournament last year, the Hutchins kid. He had a little arm trouble over the winter, I think, but I think he'll be fine, I'm sure. But the thing that we found out about them, or I've heard about them, it's talking to some friends over there. They've got a kid. I remember him from Little League. We played against him from Little League on. He is a Spalding. His last name. That kind of narrows it down at Marion County. There's a million Spaldings over there. But always been a real big kid. He's probably 6'4", 6'5", probably 250 now. I mean, he's a big kid. But apparently he found something over the winter. He threw the ball probably low 80s last year. UK and U of L's both offered him this winter. He's up over 90 now. So that's just another pitcher for them. So it's as strong as it's ever been, and that's kind of worrisome in a way because I mean I think our group's good and they'll be fine, but they're young this year, and some of those other teams are. Like I said, Taylor County's got those 3 kids going to D1 that none of them are seniors right now, so they're going to be there too. So I mean, it's a strong group, a young group in the district.
Yeah, we'll try to get Coach McQuarrie in.
Yeah, we'll try to get him, Coach Brown, both too. Yeah,
it's tough once the season starts because they play about every day or every other day.
The good thing about our show being on Wednesday, a lot of times Wednesdays are free days. We might have to catch them after practice or something like that. But
good. Let's talk softball. They had a much better start. They took Warren Central down 19-3 on the road on yesterday. Big win. Was it 19?
I thought I saw 10-3.
Oh, did I look at it wrong?
I'm not sure.
Maybe I looked at it wrong. While you look, I'll go ahead and write it down.
It is 19. I can't see. Good call.
I think it was a 5-inning game, obviously. Coming up next for the softball team, they'll be at Caverna on Thursday. Nelson County at home at 6:30 on Friday. Of course, that's when we're supposed to get the majority of the rain is Friday. At Clinton on Monday and at Somerset Christian on Tuesday. So that's that's the rundown for softball, but a good start.
Yeah, you saw me give Austin the look. We were supposed to have Austin's first game on the radio last Monday. Of course, it got cold. It wasn't rained out. It was cold out. And then the next softball broadcast is supposed to be Friday when it's supposed to rain. That's the great thing about.
That's right.
Great thing about spring sports.
Yeah.
Is when you try to broadcast, you can make all the plans you want to.
Yeah.
Mother Nature has other words.
That's right.
And it's like I said, we're supposed to be on the radio Friday's game on 1270 AM, 101.9 FM. Next Monday's baseball game, the home opener, is scheduled to be on also against Allen County Scottsville. So if you can't make it out, and this time of year I wouldn't blame anybody for not wanting to brave it, but we'll have those on. Is it YouTube, Austin? Also, it will be on our YouTube page. So John's going back behind the mic on baseball this year.
What?
So, yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I talked to him. I'm going to do a few games. I'm going to take a little break for a little while. It's with him being out for football this year, it really wore me down. I just did. But and the long basketball season,
I understand.
I need a little bit of a break. I'm gonna try to do a few of them, but John's great though. I mean, John. It's worth listening to John do baseball. I don't know if you've ever heard him do baseball. We get to see him. We see him all the time and hear his stories. But he starts telling stories on the baseball because baseball's so slow paced. A lot of times,
it's Harry.
He'll get the.
It's Harry Carey.
He'll start. That's a good point. But he'll start telling stories. It's great.
He'll throw in a few things that's happening on the field while telling other things. Right?
But the inning will be over before you ever know. And that's 3 away.
I love it. 19-3. That's a good start. I'm sure Warren Central's not obviously if they're giving up that many runs, it's probably not the strongest team in the region, but still, good start.
Yes. No doubt about it. You put 19 runs on anybody, it's a great thing. Don't know anything much about what happened. I do know, according to Facebook, Ellie Cheatham had her first career home run, so that's a neat milestone for her. So it's a good start, no doubt. And hopefully they'll be able to continue that on Thursday or tomorrow at Caverna, and then I'm sure Nelson will probably be a decent team on Friday, so it'll be a good test for them then.
You mentioned that the district's loaded in baseball. What about softball?
Don't know a lot about it. I know Campbellsville is lost quite a bit, but they still should be pretty good. Taylor was really young last year, but Taylor's always had a good program, and Marion. I can go back and look at Little League districts, and Marion is there every year. Them and Russell every year about going to the state tournament in Little League. So I'm sure they'll be. I think we always talk about the pitch in Marion County side. I think they finally graduated one of those girls. They had 2 or 3 that just were unbelievable. But I think one of them graduated finally. Maybe 2 of them have. But like I said, with softball, Chris. It's all about pitching.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a couple good pitchers, and it's a matter of making plays behind them. I mean, you got to throw strikes, and if they hit it, you got to make the plays.
Yeah. That was getting ready to say. If you throw strikes and you keep that goose egg in the error column, you're going to win a lot of games. No doubt about it.
That's the thing with especially in high school softball is throwing strikes. I mean, because you don't have. Nobody around here. Once you get past I'll just be brutally honest. Once you get, and baseball's the same way in high school. You get by the 5-6 hitter, you throw strikes after that, and make them beat you that way. It's just a lot of baseball and softball teams all in high school they drop off quite a bit after that.
Again, baseball, softball off and running at Adair County. What other spring sports does Adair County have?
Track and field, tennis.
I went out and picked up my son from school the other day, and I saw them out practicing some tennis. So,
trying to think of what else. I think esports starts back up again. They have a fall and a spring both.
Okay.
I think it's got started back up.
Golf's a fall sport.
Golf's a fall sport. Cross country's a fall sport. Football obviously is a fall sport. They're really working hard in the weight room in football, and their spring practice will be coming up. I think sometime in April. And we'll try to get Coach Stonebreaker out again at some point in time there to talk a little bit about that. And I know they're really working hard in the weight room right now. It's I got one comes home every afternoon wore out. So it's a good thing, though. It's a good thing.
It is. Before we leave the high school segment here, let's talk about the state tournament for a moment. Girls state tournament was last week. Sacred Heart won that one. Really no surprise. They beat McCracken County in the final 68-53. They did have a tester in the semifinals, though. And McCracken County was the team that beat Bethlehem, who won the.
I don't know how
region.
bad that game ended up. The Bethlehem.
It was bad.
It was when I saw it in the middle of the second quarter. Bethlehem's already down 23.
Yeah, it was a 30-point game.
Yeah. So when we got beat by 37 by Bethlehem, I know you can't compare scores,
Right.
but that's that could have been ugly.
Yeah. So Sacred Heart wins the Sweet 16 on the girls' side. And you mentioned a few moments ago, E-Town won their first game. It was actually the first game of the boys' Sweet 16, which started today up in Rupp Arena. They beat McCracken County 48-44 to advance. They'll take on Woodford County, who knocked off J-Town 60-57 in overtime in the second game of the first session. Tonight, you got Warren Central and Pulaski County. That's a 5 o'clock Central Time tip. Owensboro, Ashland Blazer will be the nightcap up in Rupp. And then tomorrow you got Frederick Douglass, Martin County, Mail and Breathitt, Lyon and Newport, and George Rogers Clark and North Laurel are the other games in the state tournament. What do you know about it?
Couple things. Me personally, I think Warren Central's a favorite.
And they barely got out of the region.
Yes, but them and Bowling Green is like, I mean, it's us in Taylor County. You never know. I mean, Warren Central beat them once bad. It's kind of like except they made it a lot farther than we did. But that was the fourth time they played this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it gets hard to play these teams that many times.
Yeah.
But a couple other things about especially tomorrow's game that's pretty neat. John told the story last week about Breathitt County. Have you heard about that? Their coach passed away. Head coach passed away 2 weeks into the season. They asked their football coach to come over and coach the basketball team. And he's like, I don't know anything about basketball. But they thought he was a really good leader. And basically let the assistant coaches do the X's and O's, but he's going to be the head coach. They won the region. First time in ever, I forget how many years.
Wow,
that's an unreal
awesome.
story there. The other couple of stories there, obviously, be a lot of eyes tomorrow night, especially since UK's not playing. Tomorrow night, North Laurel and Reed Shepherd, UK's signee, takes on George Rogers Clark, which is the defending state champion. And another really neat thing, you'll like this, Chris, you're a historian. Lyon County, when they play Newport tomorrow, Travis Perry, he's only a junior. He needs 21 points to break King Kelly Coleman's all-time record. And chances are he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And how neat would that be to do it at the state tournament, do it at Rupp Arena? But I think Lyon County may be a favorite over Newport, but GRC will be a favorite over North Laurel. But if North Laurel can win that and Lyon County wins, they'll play each other on Friday. That'll be must watch TV.
That'll be probably two future teammates.
Yeah.
More than
Could very well be. Yeah. I don't know how athletic Perry is. I've seen him in middle school. He played in middle school, but he's always been very, very skilled. But you know how things are here. If Calipari don't recruit him, I know he's recruiting. All-time lead scorer in state history. You've got to get him. I mean, there's no. I don't care what happens. You've got to get him.
Eddie Sutton, Richie Farmer.
Exactly. Just like the Reed Shepherd thing. He had to get him. I mean, it's just how it is.
Well, that's the state tournament. Sweet 16 is going on up at Rupp Arena again. E-Town won earlier today. What do you know about Woodford County? Can E-Town win the game?
Don't know. They'll have their hands full. Woodford's pretty good. Their best player, his name is Johnson's his last name, Jalen, I think. You remember Dennis Johnson that played at UK for football?
Yeah.
It's his son.
Okay.
He's a really good basketball player, 6'5" or so, point guard. And he's only a sophomore. He's going to be highly recruited too. He's going to have the side. Of course, his dad was 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah. And
Dennis was a great basketball player. He got, of course,
he's better football.
He's an NFL player in football.
Yeah.
So, but really athletic family. And if I'm not mistaken, I might be saying wrong here, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Eric Daniels, who used to play at UK, I think is their coach. I'm not positive. It may be the girls' coach, but I know he's one of the coaches up there at Woodford County.
Gotcha.
So that's a pretty neat tidbit there too.
All right, that's our first segment. Wow, we spent 27 minutes on.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, it's a good thing. That's why we're live and local, right? We step away for a minute. We'll be back. Talk a little Lindsey Wilson athletics. This is the JNS Auto Sales Sports Talk live and local.
Kentucky Sanitation Services is a waste management company with solutions tailored to each client's need. They provide garbage dumpster services for your business, home, or farm, as well as a variety of roll-off boxes from 10 cubic yards all the way up to 40 cubic yards. They have containers that can handle any size job, from cleaning out your basement or for a large demolition project. Call 270-634-4637 or check them out on Facebook at Kentucky Sanitation Services.
Dr. Janella Brown is proud to present an hour of gospel music every Sunday from 3 until 4 p.m. on Hot Country 93.5. Her office is at 318 Public Square, Columbia. Call for an appointment, 270-384-3481. Be sure to thank Dr. Brown for sponsoring an hour of gospel music on WAIN. Choose her friendly, gentle, courteous dental team with massage dental chairs. Dr. Janella Brown, 270-384-3481.
Let J&S Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosales.ky.org. J&S Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Have you injured yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery, whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries. Our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first, team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
Hi, this is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
This is Matt Lloyd with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Class of 2023, congratulations from all of us at Fork Broadcasting and from First and Farmers National Bank. Honor and salute your senior by submitting your graduate's photo to be featured on 93.5 WAIN's online Senior Salute Grad Book, a digital tribute to the graduating class of 2023. 93.5 WAIN and First and Farmers National Bank want to help celebrate your graduates. Submit a photo of your graduate to be included in this special digital salute to our seniors.
Photo submission information. Only vertical photos will be accepted. Please limit photo captions to 11 words max. Anything longer may be cut off. Must be at least 18 years of age and legally allowed to submit photo of graduating student.
All of this information and more is available on our website, 935wain.com. Class of 2023, you made it. Congratulations from all of us, Fork Broadcasting and First and Farmers National Bank.
Welcome back to J&S Auto Sales Sports Talk live and local. Our sponsors, United Citizens Bank, Lindsey Wilson College, TJ Regional Health. Our title sponsors, J&S Auto Sales. Alongside Scott Bennett, I'm Chris Wells, Austin Armstrong, our producer here this afternoon. One thing, it's cool to say this afternoon. I look outside. I hate the Sunday where you spring forward, but I love the days after that because I hate when it gets dark at 4 o'clock.
I love the afternoons, like you said, but I despised it Monday morning.
Well,
it had finally been daylight when I was getting to work. I had to be at work about 6 o'clock, and it's finally been daylight. So now it's back to the pitch dark.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
and you have to go into the Eastern time zone, which makes it that much worse.
That's why it's 6 o'clock Columbia time. It's the Eastern time zone, but. It makes it good, especially. I changed my schedule. I used to work just 4 days a week and get off at 4:30 in the afternoon, slow time.
Yeah.
Now I get off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I work all 5 days a week, but I get off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But with the time change and everything, I get off at 2 o'clock. I've still got 4 hours of daylight. I mean, it's
no doubt.
It's nice.
Yeah. I get up in the morning and walk our dog, so I know about I got the flashlight back out now. I mean, you used to didn't have to do that. Let's talk about Lindsey Wilson Athletics. I want to start first by, if you haven't been to the Lindsey Wilson website starting today, we have a new website. You can go to lindseyathletics.com, and it's just a fresh look. Now, there's going to be some holes there because we got to fill in some things, but it is a fresh look that was actually introduced this morning. So go to lindseyathletics.com if you'd like to take a look at the new redesign of the website. Spring sports in full swing now. Baseball, they're 20 games in, 12-8 on the year. They took 2 out of 3 against Georgetown over the weekend, which was a big series win against a nationally ranked team. Coach Ethan Utley and his crew had a good weekend. Pitched the ball well, hit the ball very well. Just a good weekend for the Blue Raiders at Agnew. They'll take on U-Pike this weekend. Rain is going to be an issue this weekend. It's supposed to come in on Friday, maybe linger till Saturday. At least this was as of yesterday. Now, this is Kentucky. This is Kentucky. It could change in a heartbeat. But for everything I've seen so far, Friday is going to be probably a washout. So they're trying to play tomorrow and then go back to Pikeville either Saturday or Sunday and finish the 3-game series. But we'll just have to wait and see how that all plays out. Softball 9-8 on the season. They're scheduled to go over to Campbellsville tomorrow for 2, and then finishing up with their 3-game series on Saturday afternoon. Again, that's over at Campbellsville. Blue Raider softball just above 500. Really young team. Well, let me put it this way. I don't know. I want to say that they're a really young team because they have some veterans on the team, but new coaching staff, recruiting was I don't want to say it was down. It just, anytime you have a coaching change, there's kids that leave the program, and it depends on when you come in. So, new coach at Lindsey Wilson, Callum Pilgrim, an All-American, 4-year starter out of Canada. She's going to do a great job. But just a little bit of a bumpy road right now for the Lindsey Wilson softball team. But still, they can score the runs. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see how that goes this weekend against Campbellsville. Men's golf, they had won their first 6 tournaments of the season, finished runner-up this past Monday and Tuesday down in Hattiesburg, Mississippi at the William Carey Invite. Yannick Holitsky actually won the event. He was the medalist, so good news there. But the Blue Raiders' perfect season ended with a second-place finish. They, along with the women, will host the Blue Raider Invitational Monday and Tuesday out at the Pines. So if you're anchoring for a little collegiate golf, would like to go out and watch, you're welcome to come out on Monday and Tuesday for that tournament. Both men and women will play out at the Pines. And our cycling team finished second at the BMX Nationals over the weekend out in California. Corey Gilbert, she won the national championship in BMX, so congratulations to the national champion. Her first career national championship, the senior, picks up the win. The Blue Raider team finished runner-up. And you mentioned earlier Adair County football. Lindsey Wilson football's first spring practice starts today. So
after spring break.
Yep. So they've got some things to work on, obviously, and Coach Kleckler and his team was really excited about getting back out on the field this afternoon, and they'll have the rest of the spring to get in their 15 practices. You get 15 practices. Actually, I think you get 14 practices and a spring game, which counts as a practice. They'll spread those out over the last part of, I think you got to do that in, you get 15 practices in 35 days, I think.
Okay.
Maybe it's 25. I don't remember. It's one of the two.
You don't have to do them back-to-back, though. You can.
No, that's right. And in fact, I don't think no coach would want to do that.
No. Now, does NAI, I know the reason I'm asking this was Coach Stoops, UK, had a spring press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about, he said that he felt like they were farther along this year because the coaches could work with them more over the winter. Are NAI, they could have a ball coaches always work with them. I mean,
Sure.
it's obvious, but they could use
Yep.
a ball this year, so
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
legally use a ball.
NAI follows NCAA rules almost to a T. The only time they really don't is in things like replay, where there's a financial implication, and NAI just doesn't have the advantage that the NCAA has, where they can have multiple cameras and have a replay official up in the booth. So for the most part, they follow NCAA rules. So yeah, anything really the NCAA has, the NAI follows for the most part as well. But that's my Lindsey Wilson report. We're going to step away for a minute. When we come back, we'll talk NCAA basketball, because it is less than 24 hours away. We'll be back in a minute. This is J&S Auto Sales Sports Talk Live and Local.
So on behalf of myself and all the Opry members, past and present and future, Luke Combs, you are now officially the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Being inducted into the Opry by Joe Diffie and Vince Gill, two artists I grew up listening to, was one of the highlights of my life. Every time I'm on the Opry, I share the stage with my heroes and play the music that I love. There's nothing else like it, whether you're behind that microphone or out in the crowd. On any given night, you could see a once-in-a-lifetime performance or watch an artist get a surprise invitation to join the greatest family in country music. Even if you've seen the Opry once, you haven't seen it all. It's a blast, not just for fans, but for artists too.
Be listening to Hot Country 93.5 during the McKinney in the Morning Show for Opry Rain T-shirt clues and your chance to win tickets to the Opry. Brought to you by J&S Auto Sales.
I'm Luke Combs, and I'll see you soon at the Opry, the show that made country music famous.
Let J&S Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosales.ky.org. J&S Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Have you injured yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery, whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries. Our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first, team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
Hi, this is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
This is Matt Loy with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
J&S Auto Sales presents Sports Talk Live and Local Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central on CBS Sports Radio, 1270 AM and 1019 FM WAIN. Also online at 1019WAIN.com. Join Scott Bennett and Chris Wells along with special guests as we talk local sports, Adair County, Lindsey Wilson College, and more. State sports, UK athletics, and others. J&S Auto Sales presents Sports Talk Live and Local on CBS Sports Radio.
Hi, this is Connie at Hot Prince in Columbia. In August, we'll reach a huge milestone in our business of 25 years, and we've decided we want to celebrate all year long. So every month, we'll be having a drawing for a $50 gift card to a local Columbia business. Just go to our Facebook page for more details. We'll also have an open house in August to celebrate our big day where we will be giving away our grand prize. Remember, we are here for all your screen printing, embroidery, engraving, and signage needs. We are in Columbia. We are Hot Prince.
Welcome back to JNS Auto Sales Sports Talk live and local. And Scott, I got a bracket here in front of me, and it's got Kentucky's name on it. The question is will they advance to the next line? Something they hadn't done in a while.
No, it's 4 years since they won a game.
Exactly.
One of the years you can't really count.
Right.
Nobody played, so 3 years really. The playing they haven't won, but it's my personal feelings on it. If they play well, they got one of the best draws they could have got. There's a path there. There's a path to the Final Four there.
There's no doubt.
But they could very well come out and lose Friday night. I mean, that's the thing. You hear all the talk already all this week's been about Bryce Hopkins. I just got a sneaky feeling that Bryce Hopkins won't score 10 points in that game. I don't think they'll let him. I think Calipari will do everything because. He's had a rough season this year, a rough off season last year. They lose that game, I can imagine what's going to happen this summer.
Somebody asked me the other day because they knew I was kind of a UK fan, and I'm not a die-hard UK fan. I don't live and die with UK athletics. I kind of live and die with Lindsey Wilson athletics, and so I don't. I want them to win, and I hope that they win. But they asked me, they said, is Kentucky going to win? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I really don't know. And this is this is a team where I can say I don't know, and nothing's going to surprise me. No. If they make a Final Four run, will it surprise me? No. If they get beat against Providence, will it surprise? No.
And anywhere in between.
And anywhere in between, that's exactly right. But I completely agree with you. They could not ask for a better region to be in. Yeah. If you look
especially their little pod down there.
I mean, Providence, very winnable game, although Providence is a good offensive team, and good offensive teams have given UK trouble all year long. The winner of Kansas State, Montana State, that one wouldn't scare me I
think it's the worst 3 seed.
I think 100%. Then you got Michigan State, USC, Marquette, Vermont. Marquette would clearly the favorite out of those 4.
But Marquette's the worst 2 seed.
I think, yeah. I watched St. John. St. John should have beat them twice, and I know they won the Big East, and they beat some good teams.
How good is the Big East? That's my biggest question, and we're getting ready to find out.
That's a good question.
I don't know how good the Big East is.
So I agree, and then. I know Purdue's been there all year long, but I think they're the weakest one.
Yeah, I saw Purdue two of their games in the Big Ten tournament. If something happens with Edey gets in foul, they're in trouble.
Oh yeah,
they have nobody else can score.
No,
they have nobody else can score, and he's a great player. Don't get me wrong; he deserves a good Player of the Year because I think he probably will. But
I could see Memphis beating them.
Could very well. I could see
Memphis lose the first game.
Exactly right.
That's what is so compelling about this year's tournament is there is nothing guaranteed in this tournament at all.
No, that's absolutely right. When I left work, I actually had a meeting in Somerset today. When I left the meeting in Somerset, I don't have to worry about work till Monday. I take off these 2 days every year. I'll go home and I'll fix me some homemade salsa tonight, get it in the refrigerator, be ready for tomorrow's game, and I'll sit there and watch them all, or as many as I can. Of course, there'll be 4 on at a time, and I love it.
The thing that if you are a UK fan, and I'm a UK fan, I want to win this first game because I don't want to lose interest right away.
Right.
And so many people, there will be, like you said a few moments ago. If UK doesn't win this game against Providence, man, there's going to be some really, really harsh things said about Cal. And I just don't want to read it. I don't want to see it. I just,
Yeah, he's got to win that one. I know he's not playing, but it's going to be. And I just hope they're not too tight. That's the only thing that scares me about it is a little bit too, is how tight will they be? Because that one last year just shocked everybody. Fans, players, coaches. That just is one of those things. You see it just about every year. Somebody. I remember when Mercer beat Duke. That was just shockwaves.
Yeah.
Michigan State lost as a 2 seed to a 15 seed that one year. They were probably one of the favorites going into it. It happens.
When Virginia lost.
And Virginia lost. I still remember that one. That was a wild one there.
I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but that year that happened, it was Maryland, Baltimore County, right? UMBC.
Yep.
So there, you've got what's his name on CBS, Mr. Sharpie, when he was I don't remember what it is. Seth Davis. Well, while UMBC was awesome and they were the darlings and everything, the thing, and this, you're going to go, of course, because you're a former sports information director, but the Twitter account with UMBC was on fire.
That was one of the greatest things about that game.
So I'm sitting in an airport. I don't remember what airport I was in, and I don't remember.
You were probably in Montana or Idaho or something like that.
Could have been. Could have been. I could have.
Or Sioux City, Iowa.
Could have been. Could have been in Billings, Montana, for all I know. And that's probably exactly where I was at. But anyway, I got on when all this was happening. I was at the time the first VP of NAI CIDA, which means I was in charge of programming at our national convention. So when this is happening and this Twitter account is blowing up, I took out my phone and I direct messaged the guy who was running it, and he was the SID there. And I said, hey, I want you to come talk. Even though he wasn't NAI, I want you to come talk about how you can go from no one knowing you to the spotlight just like that. And he actually came on and he was fantastic. And
he might have said, how many followers did they get just from that?
He did say, but I don't remember. It was crazy.
How many more followers they had.
It was crazy.
You was talking about that game too. I thought it was neat. I don't know if you got to watch any of it this weekend or not, but where Jay Wright's joined the crew on CBS.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's good.
Great.
He really is.
And
next coach in Kentucky.
Yeah, I wish. I don't think it happened. But he was talking about they were playing the next game after that ball game, and he said they were asking him how hard it is to play that second game of the little pod there, because you don't know exactly. You've got a game time, but you basically 30 minutes after the first one ends, and he said you've got a general idea, and you try to. I mean, they get in a habit all year of 30 minutes before they take forward doing this, 20 minutes. I mean, you know these coaches, they've got a pattern. And he was talking about the crowd. He said we were in the locker room and you could just hear it. That whole crowd started cheering for them, and he says how crazy it got just being in the building with it.
Yeah,
and it was that was a wild night. Like I said, that Twitter account was great.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Providence, UK. What do you break it down for us? Because I know you've done some research.
I don't know that much about Providence except for Hopkins plays there, and they've got a guard that transferred from Florida, Locke. I know just from listening, they've lost 8 of their last 15. They were really, really highly ranked earlier in the season and took a skid. They've got a lot going on, coaching wise too. They're Ed Cooley, I think he's an excellent coach too, but he is named number 1 and nobody else is named number 2 for the Georgetown job. And you hear it, and he even admitted to it in a press conference he had a day or two ago that he said he's trying to not let it be a distraction. He's not saying he's not going. He said he's trying
because he is going.
Yeah, he's trying not to let it be a distraction. So that can't help. I mean, or can't help them. I think it helps UK, but I think honestly, I know I'm a huge UK homer, but I think they'll make next weekend. I might come in next Wednesday and eat total crow, but I've watched Kansas State 2 or 3 times this year, and you get them away from the octagon, they're a different team.
Yeah,
and then they don't get to play an octagon in this.
Yeah,
so it's like a lot of teams. You get them away from home, it's a different thing. So,
and that's the thing about this Kentucky team. Outside of laying an egg, and I won't even say they lay an egg because I think Vandy is. Vandy was one of the better. They were a top 25 team the last half of the season.
They wore somebody out in the NIT last night. I can't remember
who it was. Yale, I think.
Okay, well, but still they wore them out.
Yeah. I think that was just a bad draw for UK. You put them in with anybody else, and I think that they
and that team, from watching, it seems like it happens every single game. The little smaller guard come in. He's hit 3 3-pointers all year long. boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
It's like all year long he's hit three. And he hit three in the game.
The big guy hit one right at the end of the first half. So that happens.
It's just it always happens. It seems like, but.
My point is this: outside of that one game in Nashville, UK has played pretty good on the road this year.
Oh yeah, they've been a good road team. Probably one of the two toughest places. I mean, you put Alabama up there, especially when Alabama's good. That's a ruckus place there. Auburn's a ruckus place, but you win at Tennessee and you win, especially Arkansas. Arkansas is nuts. And,
won at Florida.
Won at Florida.
Won at Vandy.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year.
I think they've got a lot of experience playing. That's one of the luxuries they have. A lot of experience playing neutral site games. They play a lot of those early in the season at the Champions Classic and the CBS Classic and all that.
Have you filled out a bracket yet?
I've piddled at one. I'm gonna do one tonight for my. We're gonna do a family contest at the house there. So, but from what I've seen, now I'll probably be totally wrong on it. But my dark horse this year is going to be Gonzaga. Nobody's talking about them, and I think this is the year. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they'll get a long way. Because nobody's talking about them really. I mean, they're flying under the radar. I know they haven't done as well as I know they made the championship game as a favorite, but I think they got a seasoned big man down low. If their guards play very well at all, I think they'll be there. I don't believe in UCLA in that bracket, and I don't believe in Kansas in that bracket.
I've done one bracket so far. I've got Alabama and Duke in one semifinal, and I got Houston, Gonzaga in the other.
You're a Gonzaga man too.
And I got Alabama beating Gonzaga 81-72.
That's the final I'll have right there.
So
mine is the one I piddled at. I had. Of course, I'm a homer, so I've done it. I'll probably, when I do my official one tonight, I probably won't do it. But I had Alabama, UK, Texas, and Gonzaga. And I got really, really close to picking Arizona to beat Alabama. Arizona scares me if I'm an Alabama fan, because they are capable of beating anybody.
Yeah.
But they're capable of laying an egg in the first round and getting beat too. I mean, it's just part of it.
If you look at my Final Four, I've got a 1, 2 1s, a 3, and a 5. And would it surprise me if there was a 7 or 6 or 7 in the? No, it wouldn't.
Would it surprise you if it's all ones? Like this is going to be. Watch it be chalk the whole way through. It never is, but.
Right.
To me, the potential of this thing just getting absolutely nuts. There's a good chance that there won't be a number 1 seed in the Final Four. I mean, it's just wild this year.
It wouldn't surprise me. You've got it. The tournament starts with, and I shouldn't say the tournament's already started. It started last night. Two pretty good games last night, and then there's 2 more tonight. But you've got West Virginia, Maryland starting the day tomorrow. Furman, Virginia. I mean, that's a dangerous game for Virginia. And I actually watched a little bit of Furman play earlier. Utah State, Missouri, Howard, Kansas. That'll be a blowout. Alabama will whip Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. The second round game that interests me the most would be Texas A&M, Texas. That would be awesome.
Texas A&M got screwed. I'll just say it. They're not a 7 seed.
They're not a 7 seed.
But that is a made-for-TV game. They can say whatever they want to. They done that. That was done on purpose for a made-for-TV game, because they haven't played each other since Texas A&M left, and to me, it's just like UK's bracket. I could have told you before going into it they was going to be in there with Duke just for the off chance. Even though neither one of them's really high seeded, the off chance they could play each other, and in the Elite Eight. They seem like they set it up that way every year.
It seems like it, yeah.
But there's some. Who's your upsets? Who you got for an upset early? Or do you have any?
I do. I've got some. I got Charleston making it out to the Sweet 16.
That's your high seed going to the Sweet 16.
I got Charleston. Yeah, that's my highest seed going to the Sweet 16. I got Missouri getting out to the Sweet 16. I got them upsetting Arizona.
Not bad pick. I can see that one.
But yeah, Charleston's definitely the highest seed that I've got out there. I've got them upsetting Virginia. I got them upsetting San Diego State and Virginia to make the Sweet 16, and then Alabama beating Charleston. I got Texas A&M upsetting Texas. In fact, I got Texas A&M getting to the Elite Eight and Houston beating them.
Yeah, Houston may be. There's a lot of things lining up. Final Fours in Houston. Jim Nance's final year. He's a Houston alum. The storybook is there for that.
Yeah, but
I don't know if they're going to be there for that.
That's right. The other issue is they could potentially have to play Auburn in Birmingham, which is really unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, how in the world does Auburn get a home game basically as a 9 seed?
As a 9 seed, you're exactly right. But I don't know if Auburn will get by Iowa.
They may not. They may not.
My high seeds I had, I've got 3 of them in the Sweet 16. I know all 3 won't happen, but I'm hoping to hit maybe 2 of them. I had Charleston like you did as a 12 seed. I've got Kent State. No, I can't say Drake. I've got Drake beating Miami and then Drake beating Indiana, and then I've got my one in the West. I've got VCU coming out of there. I'm not UConn might be great.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy anybody Big East right now. I just don't. And they could prove to be.
And it's a lot of it. You always hear about the East Coast bias. It's prevalent there. I mean, it's just they've got that national TV deal on Fox Sports, and they're on all the time, and a lot of talking heads on there. And, that's
by the way, I saw on Twitter Kentucky's 7-0 on Fridays all time.
I think so.
Yep. Thanks to our sponsors, TJ Regional Health, United Citizens Bank, Lindsey Wilson College, our title sponsor, J&S Auto Sales. We look forward to having John Shelley back with us next week. For Austin Armstrong, our producer.
Hear about the let's see if he take a bath in one of the bathhouses in Hot Springs. I'm sure we'll hear all about it.
Scott Bennett, I'm Chris Wells. This is J&S Auto Sales, Sports Talk Live and Local.